So, hello everyone, Myrmonden here. Welcome to my review of Darling in the Franxx episode 4. So I found it a pretty good episode. Like the second half was really strong. The first half wasn't that strong. I think that's fair to say. I think the second half was of course really good. You finally see Hero and Soooooo teaming up, right? You see them like fighting against the government, disagreeing with Papa, so to speak. And kind of, I think Papa I suppose is the main leader of this kind of cultist religious people, and the other guys probably have like mother or whatever, mama probably. But he is Papa, right? Because they said that Papa and the others. So I think Papa is the main leader. So I think that was really good. But the first half, I will say, was kind of like they talk a lot. So let's talk about that first. Then. So first half, the problem with that half, and I think that wasn't that good, like, because there was a lot of like dialogues between Ichigo and Goro and the other guys, and it wasn't really that meaningful in my opinion. I think a lot of people will agree with this. Hopefully, I think so. But yeah, because the first half was like. We talk a bit, and it's kind of like Ace Hero scared of her, Mitsuru is scared of her, and it kind of builds up Hero's fears a bit. But the problem with that scene, with our state, and I think it's very true this scene, is that we see Hero getting afraid of her more, right? Thanks to Mitsuru and so on. But the whole dialogue we had for like 5 or so minutes with the other characters, Hero was not there. Hero wasn't there. So when they are like building up kind of general fear of Soooooo, he's not even there. And that means that his characterization, his character development isn't going more in afraid of her. I mean, generally he's afraid of her anyway, but like that scene didn't connect to him in any way, in like a weird way. That I felt that he should have been there, right? He should have been there during the discussion about her, and he must have posed, but he should have been there or like entered that. I think that's been good if he entered their dialogues, their discussion about like, Soooooo is kind of dangerous. And he's like. No, she's not, and and then he would leave me like, maybe she is dangerous. Like that would have been a much better thing, build up. Instead, they just had their own discussion. He wasn't involved, and then no one of them told him what they actually discussed to come up with and so on. So that to me felt really weird. That's a disconnect for me. How that scene would lead to Hero being afraid of her later on and hiding from her in kind of the dockyard, whatever mecha place they had. Like so that to me was really weird. But anyway, second part was great, yeah. Second part was really, really good. We finally get the whole thing. First of all, we had the whole bathroom scene, right? Soooooo is coming in there, harassing him. And I think this scene was a little funny though, and it's a little weird, right? She's like, you think I'm a monster hero? Huh? Monster? And he's like, I'm naked and you kind of attacked me now in the bathroom, please, lady. like that. She's bad with people, right? She's bad with people. She's best girl this year, but that's a good, funny scene. And like, man, she not looking at it objectively. He's naked here, you attacking him when he's relaxing in the bathroom. Like, you calling me a monster? It's like, yes. I don't think he will change his mind, right? That's not how you get a guy to change his mind when you attack them there. Not really. So. But anyway, I mean, generally though, it was it was a funny scene though, and of course he's letting about it and so on. Then of course he has to take it over and so on. One thing that I will have to say though, this episode, which I felt I'm a little, I like the Ichigo mention in a way I like this that she mentioned it, but another way it was so untrue to what it said. So it's kind of like anyway. So what I mean is that the other mechas are so bad. The other mechas are so useless. And I like, in a way, the Ichigo that mentioned it. She was like, man, we can't rely on her help every time. But at the same time, she just saved them from being eaten alive pretty much during like the same time she's mentioning that. It's kind of like, you can't really not rely on her. Because she just said you're ready, so it's too late to not rely on her, right? So I think that was a little weird. But also kind of good that she is aware of it. But anyway, I think they are really, really pathetically weak. And what I actually don't like about that, primarily, is how it makes no sense, I feel, in the actual anime, honestly. So I think, to me, that is actually probably my biggest issue with anime right now. Not all that weird sexual mecha stuff and the training and like they touch my ass and all that stuff. But actually, the weirdest stuff to me is how are they surviving? Like, how are they surviving? I think it's a huge... I hope it isn't, but so far, I feel like it's a big plot hole, honestly. Like, how are the other people surviving in the cities, right? Because So we have them, before Series 2 arrived there, they only had those kids being the mechas, right? So how did they not get, stomped by the cluster of whatever pronounced the mecha aliens? How did that not get that city, right? Station 16. How does that get defeated? Because we've seen so far, they're all really bad. All kids are horrible. And they've been training these kids, right, since they were kids, so to speak, but they were the children, orphans, and getting them up there to this level. So who protected the city before? I think it's like a big issue for me so far in the anime, that the city seems to have zero defenses except the mecha kids, and the mecha kids are horrible, right? The mecha kids are horrible. So how does station survive before that? Like, it doesn't have any defenses. First episode, they have to release her, right, because the city was being attacked and so on. So that to me is a little weird. Maybe they're gonna say later that, well, Zero 2 is the reason there's so many attacks, because she's like pulling them in there, right? Because they attack every day too, so potentially. But I think that is actually, so far, it's a plot hole. Like, how does the station keeps getting attacked every day, and the kids are useless? We have to assume that other stations have similar kids, without demon blood, so to speak. How do they survive if they only have like young kids fighting for them? Like, if the kid dies, then who's gonna be the next fighter to get some more orphans? Like, yeah, like, that seems to be weird to me. Do they have like 100 more orphans somewhere else that they have ready to like throw them into this war if they lose the currently like best mecha pilots? Something like that, right? Because the stations are useless. They're not just the kids, but also the general military doesn't do anything to help them, right? I think that is weird. I think one thing, honestly, that I felt it early too, but especially here, that I'm lacking is some kind of like veteran pilot, right? Some kind of like, experience, like 40-plus-year-old couple, right? Some kind of like, an older woman and a man. They're like, we are lovers, we're married, we're the best team. Like, that is weird. With the anime, that probably will come later, right? Like an older couple, probably more of them. Very likely. But I feel that each city or each station, or whatever you call it, should have at least a few like experienced mecha pilots, right? That are in the whatever 30 to 40 hour, and they are much more experienced. They can say these kids to fail and so on. Where are those people? Because otherwise, if she wasn't there, they were actually even gonna kidnap her to leave, right? And then everyone would die. Like, that to me is weird. That to me seems really weird. And I hope they're gonna explain that they have like other squads or something later on. That if the kids squad fail, they have like a fail-safe of the experienced veteran squad that arrive and kills and stuff after the kids have failed, if they would fail. I hope there's something like that, because otherwise it just seems really implausible that the city would survive. Ostex really, really does to me. Anyway, last point I want to talk about is, well, two things. First of all, the whole scene, of course, they say, I love you, that thing. That was a pretty good scene. Generally, of course, she had two beats them up, jumps through the window. That was really bad. I love the scene. She's like, tell me again, boy, tell me again. That was great. That was really great. But also, I want to mention this because it's Darling in the Franxx. Man, this is probably the most sexualized mechas ever, right? I mean, there are mechas that look more human and so on, but I mean, they have the kind of seriously flies through them, Cecilia, and they kind of zoom in her butt, right, her rear end, the kind of weird, typical anime style when they like, let's show the females, have sexualized zones there. It's on the mecha, and it's kind of weird, they have this kind of boob shot, like slide boob shot on her. It's like, I know it's a mecha, but like, man, anime, stop doing this weird stuff. It's like, let's take the camera here, yeah, that's perfect. It's like, oh man, it looks so weird. It's like, usually the mechas are more like, they're more muscular or something, but not the mechas in this anime, no, they're all very sexy females. It's like, yeah, sexiest mechas ever. But generally though, I don't get how anyone survives in this world. That's probably, I mean, the episode was good and so on, but I think again the kids go out and they lose. It's so bad. And I was wondering, like, if they had removed 02, right? Or, here they'd be like, I love you, come back to me, baby. If that hadn't happened, then would the whole place just get destroyed? Like, who would arrive afterwards? Because the kids will lose to the big worm, caterpillar, snake, mecha clusters, and then it would go over and, like, destroy city? Or they would go down there and into the magma hole? Like, that is weird to me. That's really weird to me. This station seems to be really useless in defending themselves, like, really bad. And I guess they all have their own, like, orphan training program, probably. And they talked about more kids getting killed and so on in the training, right? So they probably have more of, like, years of that, very likely. But it's like, do they also have, like, grown-ups fighting? I find it weird. To me, at least, that has to be explained to me. Hopefully it will be. And I hope it's like, if the kids fail, we have the experienced team behind them. Like, they will fail, then like 20 minutes later, we will send out the real fighters. So they're much stronger. They have been married for years. They're great. Like, I hope that's gonna be a thing, because otherwise, like, how does anyone survive in this world? Because they only have like one demon girl, right? They only have one half demon girl, right? So who else saving the planet, or the humans, or everything else happening on the planet? Because they have more stations, right? So it's like, who's taking the other people? Like, who's putting the other people on other parts of the Earth or the planet? But yeah, who's saving those people? Probably no one. So it's like, yeah. Or these main characters are just the worst. They're just the worst team ever. But that's very unlikely. Probably the best ones. They're probably the best, right? So, yeah. And I hope that's the review. So subscribe, slap it, and I'll see you guys next week.